I am in West Point, Utah. I am a few blocks from the house that my mother grew up in. There was my grandfather's house, and right next to it is the house that I knew my grandfather from. And my Uncle Fred lived in the house my mom grew up in. And then he later sold that house and built his own house right next to Grandpa's house. So I have several relatives in this area, and as a youth I spent a lot of time. I was about 3 miles east of here, but I used to ride my bike all the way down here, and I spent a lot of time in this area. So I thought we'd take a look. We could go see Grandpa's house, maybe see if we could make it over there, and maybe get a glimpse at the barn that I had many adventures in when I was a kid. And look at Antelope Island and the Great Salt Lake, see how that looks from here. A little later, I think we'll go to the causeway that goes across to Antelope Island. Antelope Island has a restriction against drone flying, so we can't go to Antelope Island today. I'd love to get permission sometime to go and fly there. I think you can get permission. I have seen videos of people that have gone there to fly, and without getting permission or without being caught. Obviously, they didn't get caught, but they're flying their drones around out there. Posted on YouTube. I don't know if you can be convicted of breaking the rules of the national park by somebody watching your video on YouTube. But we're going to follow the rules. We're responsible drone pilots, so we're gonna stay in public land right next to the causeway, and hopefully today we'll see some birds. That's one of the things I think that we might get to look at some migrating waterfowl today. It's overcast. It's supposed to be cloudy today. The sun's up, but it's not real bright. We'll see if we have enough light to make a good video. But we're going to take the drone out and set up, and then take a flight and just see how it goes. Let's do a stitching line calibration to start off our flying day.
Point updated.
Calibrating the stitching line. Got some nice bird sounds going. Successfully calibrated the stitching line. Returning to home.
Beginning to return to home.
I think the light looks pretty good. drone off and then on. Okay, start a screen recording. FPV mode, camera's going, screen recording going.
Home point updated.
This is called the Bluff. It used to be called Bluff Road up here, but they don't call it Bluff Road, and it doesn't stretch across most of West Point and Syracuse anymore. In fact, where the road was is now a trail with West Davis Trail, or I think it's called the West Davis Trail. It might be called something else. Let's get a little look at the cemetery. This is where my mother's parents are buried, and my grandparents' parents are buried here, and I think the great-great-grandparent of my grandparent is buried here. Just get used to being in the goggles here for a minute. But right there is my little bit of signal loss. There's my grandparents' house and Uncle Fred's house, and the original white house with the red roof. And there's Grandpa's barn. I used to play in Grandpa's barn quite a bit as a child. I'm going to come around this way and do this field and take a look at it. This is what I expected to be by houses by now, because they built so many houses. But there's what's left of Grandpa's barn. The white house with the red roof, and Uncle Fred's a newer house there off the road behind Grandpa's house. So they all stayed pretty close. It does look a lot different than it did back in the day. It was kind of fun to have a look at it. Let's stay clear of the wires and we'll head back towards us, and then we'll go look around over in the fields beyond the Bluff Road. My grandpa would never believe that there would be a golf course in West Point, Utah, or a traffic light, or a supermarket, or a Walmart, but there is now, so that's kind of a thing that happens, I guess. Been coming here my whole life. Every Memorial Day we usually make a trip out of here too. I don't know if I want to get close enough to read the tombstones or not. I think that's close enough for me. I see some poles, but I don't see wires, I don't think. There's a truck. There we are. And around the field now. Yeah, I'm glad I'm wearing gloves. They're not my warmest gloves, that's for sure, but it's a wee nippy. I think it'll warm up as the day goes on, but and I did leave just as soon as I could this morning because I wanted to get some of this morning light, which I thought would be pretty good. A little hazy on the mountains, but the light's pretty good. Do a little FPV rip. The mountain in the middle of where I'm flying to is Antelope Island on the Great Salt Lake. So we'll get up. Let's get up and closer to 40 feet and take a little look around. Kind of avoid the construction site a little bit. Okay. 390. Okay, got the golf course. I think the colors are nice. Wonder how it will turn out in the finished video. That's Mount Ben Lomond, right in the center. We're not close to it. It is the mountain that they used for the Paramount logo. That's what the mountain they based it on. I am planning to go when it's summery, a little more summery, maybe a little more spring than summer, but when it's warmer, I'm going to make an attempt to climb up towards the top and fly from up there. And there's the Great Salt Lake. It's very low. And we're going to go closer to it for our next flight, but got to look at it. And Got a little higher than I wanted to be. Okay, there's power lines, but are they in front of me? I don't see a pole on this side, so I think the power lines start right there. There's what used to be the bluff road. I think I did see some golfers, so we'll kind of try to avoid the golfers a little bit. The green is lovely though, certainly lovely. Keep our eye on the signal. I'm actually facing away from the drone. It's almost completely behind me now. So we are going to cut the signal a little bit. Oh, that is just lovely though. That is really lovely. The trees in the water, that's pretty good. Yeah, we're losing transmission though. We'll get into, can get low. Can't get as low as I would like. Guess we should watch for golf balls coming towards us. We're a little high for that. 75 feet. I hear a lot of birds, but I haven't seen very many birds in my view. And we're playing with signal also. It should be much better now for signal. I kind of figured the elevation would be interesting, but it's still relatively flat. Now, I'm seeing some birds, so I'm gonna go slow here. We're 12 feet above the ground, but we're 3 feet above where I'm standing. I'm just gonna go slowly down and we'll see if there's some birds in these trees. I can hear them though. It's a lovely sound. It's pretty quiet. Jeez, I hear that. It sounds like it's over in this direction. Little pond, little puddle, whatever you call that. Some wetlands, like that's what I call it, wetlands. I see some birds darting around. Feeling it in my fingers a little bit. There are power lines here. There's a bicyclist. I thought about bringing my bike because of the trail, but my bike rack's not on my car, and that's a little bit of an operation for me.